Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Learn English Road, where we make learning English fun, natural, and unforgettable. Today, you're going to master 50 powerful phrasal verbs through 5 fun and emotional short stories. These are the verbs native speakers use every single day, but most learners struggle to remember them. Don't worry. We won't just list them like a dictionary. You'll hear them used in real-life stories, and I'll explain each one with simple examples after each story. That way, they'll really stick in your memory. So grab your notebook or just sit back and enjoy, because by the end of this video, you'll sound a lot more fluent and confident when you speak English. Ready? Let's dive into the first story. Story 1. How a chance meeting landed him the job. Last week, my friend Liam ran into an old college buddy at a coffee shop. They caught up over cappuccinos, sharing memories, and talking about their current jobs. Liam, who had been trying to break into the tech industry, mentioned he was still unemployed. To his surprise, his friend brought up a position at his company and offered to put in a good word. Liam went over his resume that night and sent it in immediately. A few days later, he heard back from the hiring manager. They scheduled an interview, and Liam showed up 15 minutes early. He came across as confident, enthusiastic, and well-prepared. By the end of the week, he got the job. Now it's time to explain the phrasal verbs in the story. 1. Run into, to meet someone by chance. I ran into my teacher at the supermarket. 2. Catch up, to talk with someone after a long time apart. We haven't seen each other in years. Let's catch up soon. 3. Break into, to enter a profession or industry. She wants to break into the fashion industry. 4. Bring up, to mention something in conversation. He brought up politics at the dinner table. 5. Put in, to recommend or support someone officially. I'll put in a good word for you with my boss. 6. Go over, to review or check something carefully. Please go over your essay before submitting it. 7. Send in, to submit something. He sent in his application on Monday. 8. Hear back, to receive a reply. I emailed the company but haven't heard back yet. 9. Show up, to arrive. She showed up late to the party. 10. Come across, to appear or seem in a certain way. He comes across as intelligent and kind. That was a wild ride, right? Liam's story gave us a lot to work with. Now, let's shift gears and jump into another real-life situation, this time with a little airport drama. Ready for 10 more phrasal verbs? Let's go. Story 2. The Lost Passport Adventure. Anna had a flight to Paris last month. She checked in online and packed everything the night before. But when she arrived at the airport, she realized she had left behind her passport. Panicking, she tried to call up her brother to ask for help. He picked up, thank goodness, and immediately drove over to her apartment. Meanwhile, Anna looked around the airport for someone to help or reschedule her flight. Security told her she could check out the lost and found, just in case. While she waited around, her brother finally arrived and handed over the passport. She got through security just in time and made her flight. Now it's time for the next 10 phrasal verb explanations. 11. Check in, to register for a flight, hotel, etc. We checked in at the hotel at 3 p.m. 12. Leave behind, to forget something. I left behind my wallet at the cafe. 13. Call up, to make a phone call. He called up his mom to say hello. 14. Pick up, to answer a phone call or collect someone. She didn't pick up when I called. 15th. Drive over, to go to a place by car. He drove over to her house with the documents. 16. Look around, to explore or search by looking. They looked around the store for souvenirs. 17. Check out, to examine or investigate. Let's check out the new cafe on Main Street. 18. Wait around, to wait with no purpose. I had to wait around for 2 hours at the station. 19th. Hand over, to give something formally. He handed over the keys to the new tenant. 20. Get through, to pass a difficult stage. She got through security quickly. Whew, that was stressful, but also super useful, wasn't it? Traveling always teaches us something. Now, let's explore a different kind of journey, the emotional kind. In our next story, a breakup leads to healing and growth. And yes, 10 more phrasal verbs are waiting for you. Story 3. A breakup, a breakdown, and a breakthrough. Maya and Tom had been dating for 3 years, but things began to fall apart after they moved in together. They often argued over small things, and neither was willing to give in. Eventually, they split up, and Maya was devastated. She tried to hold back her tears, but the sadness would creep in at night. Her friends told her to move on, but she wasn't ready. One day, while cleaning her room, she decided to throw away old love letters. As she looked back on their relationship, she realized she had grown. She started to open up to her friends again and even took up painting. Now it's time for phrasal verb explanations. 21. Fall apart, to break emotionally or physically. After the news, she completely fell apart. 22. Argue over, to disagree about something. They always argue over money. 23. Give in, to stop resisting. He finally gave in and apologized. 24. Split up, to end a relationship. They split up after 5 years together. Hold back, to stop oneself from expressing emotions. He held back tears during the speech. 26. Creep in, to happen slowly and silently. Doubt began to creep in. 27th. Move on, to accept something and continue. It's time to move on from the past. 28th. Throw away, to discard. She threw away all the junk. 29th. Look back on, to reflect on the past. He looked back on his childhood fondly. 30. Open up, to share feelings. She finally opened up to her therapist. That story hit deep, but guess what? Just like Maya found her strength, we're going to level up our vocabulary again. This next story is all about starting something new and making it succeed. Get ready for some real-world business phrasal verbs. Story 4. The Startup That Took Off. Jake had an idea to set up an online bookstore. Everyone doubted him at first, but he stuck with his plan. He worked out the logistics, brought in a few friends, and together they laid out the business model. It wasn't easy. They had to deal with angry suppliers, cut down unnecessary costs, and figure out marketing strategies. Slowly, sales began to grow. One day, a famous influencer mentioned their website, and orders shot up overnight. The next week, an investor came in and offered to expand the business. Jake had officially made it. Now let's break down the phrasal verbs from that story. Set up, to establish or start something. He set up a tech startup in 2019. Stick with, to continue doing something. Even when it was hard, she stuck with the training. Work out, to plan or resolve. They worked out their differences. Bring in, to involve or include someone. We need to bring in a specialist. Lay out, to organize or plan in detail. She laid out the proposal clearly. Deal with, to manage a situation. He's good at dealing with pressure. Cut down, to reduce. I'm trying to cut down on sugar. Figure out, to understand or solve. I finally figured out how to fix it. Shoot up, to rise quickly. Gas prices shot up last month. Come in, to become involved. The new manager came in and changed everything. What a comeback story from struggle to success. Now, before we wrap up, let's end on a lighter note. Our final story takes you to a big family reunion full of laughs, rain, and a lot of fun expressions you'll love using. Let's go. Story 5. The Big Family Reunion. Last summer, I got together with my extended family for the first time in years. We set off for a cabin in the mountains. Everyone chipped in to pay for the food and rent. On the second day, it started to rain, so we put off our hike and hung out in the cabin, playing board games and telling stories. My uncle tried to cheer up my cousin, who had recently lost his job. Later, we all dressed up for a family photo. It was a bit chaotic, but we pulled it off. That night, my grandma pointed out how much everyone had grown. After the laughter faded and the fire crackled low, we all headed back to our rooms, full of memories and gratitude. It was a weekend I'll never forget. Now we'll break each one down with a simple meaning and an example. Get together, to meet. We should get together sometime soon. Set off, to begin a journey. They set off early in the morning. Chip in, to contribute. Everyone chipped in for the birthday cake. Put off, to postpone. They put off the meeting until next week. Hang out, to relax or spend time casually. We hung out at the park all day. Cheer up, to become happier. She brought ice cream to cheer him up. Dress up, to wear formal or special clothes. He dressed up for the wedding. Pull off, to succeed in doing something difficult. They pulled off the surprise party. Point out, to indicate or highlight. He pointed out the mistake in the report. Head back, to return to a place. We headed back to the hotel after dinner. Well done, my friend. You just learned 50 useful phrasal verbs the smart way through natural storytelling and real-life examples. Remember, the more you hear and use these in context, the more automatic they'll become. So feel free to rewatch, shadow the stories, or even create your own story using your favorite phrasal verbs from today. Tell me in the comments, which phrasal verb was new for you? Which one do you plan to start using this week? And if you found this lesson helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a chance to improve your English the smart and enjoyable way. See you in the next video, and remember, don't just learn English. Live it.